Hello and welcome back to the Invisible Man Show with me, Stephen. I hope you're well and your week is going well so far. This is going to be a quick preview rather of City v Napoli. But yeah, enjoying the Champions League so far. It's been a mixed bag for the English teams. I watched Chelsea last night. Yeah, they looked okay, but Bayern Munich looked a class apart for them for my money. Same with Arsenal. Bilbao huffed and puffed, but I thought Arsenal were clearly better and will probably go quite a long way in this tournament because I don't think many teams are going to beat them, and they've got a very strong defence. It's quite obvious to say, but yeah, I think they've got a lot of things you need to do well in a competition such as the Champions League. And Liverpool yesterday, 2-0 up off to a flyer, pulled back to 2-2, and then won at the death of course they did. I think that's every game of theirs, bar one, their winners have come after the 85th minute or something of that nature. Is that sustainable? Does it have to be sustainable? I mean, they've done it now, haven't they? So you can improve as you go. So it'd be interesting to see how they get on in the coming weeks, because if they do drop a few points, then maybe I'd say that they're in trouble. But if they do just win a few normal games without any last minute drama, I think they'll be off and away in the league and doing well in the Champions League as well. But yeah, so we're going to talk about City versus Napoli and also De Bruyne's return, which I think we're all looking forward to. This is the earliest chance he actually could have. Les was playing them in a friendly in the Thomas Cook Trophy in the middle of the summer. There was no other opportunity for him to come back earlier, so this should be good. And he's obviously started well for them. But I'll come on to him in a bit. Well, first, I want to start on Donnarumma. He had a very steady debut on Friday, but then his comments yesterday at the press conference, along with what his agent said, I thought are worth touching on from a confidence and mentality perspective. So Donnarumma said at first, regarding his exit from Paris Saint-Germain, I don't really like to talk about the past. Some people make their own decisions and choices. It's part of football. My desire was to come here. That was my first and only option. My choice was to come here. And I think that's a great mentality. He doesn't slag off his former teammates, or particularly his former club, when I think he had maybe not have every right to, but I don't think people would have blamed him if he did, given what he achieved there, particularly in the back end of last season, helping them to win the Champions League, particularly against Arsenal. So I think it was very very big of him, drawing a line under it. Thanks very much, but it's time to move on, and that's a sort of mentality you like, is that you don't want players who are bitter, carrying grudges around with them. But also his agent, he said, many coaches have gone crazy for Donnarumma. Guardiola was very happy to have him. Aside from how he wants Gianluigi to play, he asked to wake up the City team. They need someone who can keep them on their toes and revitalise the atmosphere. And I think that's absolutely spot on, isn't it? I think when we watched the particular Spurs game, the Brighton game, and then you look at some of the big personalities that have left over the last year or so, Gundogan, KDB, Fernandinho, David Silva going back a bit longer, obviously Rodri being out last year. I think the dressing room, the atmosphere needed someone with his degree of achievement, his degree of mentality, and his CV. Like I said the other day, someone who can come in who's a big boy and start telling people what they should be doing and how they should be doing it without anyone questioning whether he can back it up. And I think we saw on Sunday that he can definitely back his words up with action. So I'm really looking forward to see how he gets on in the Champions League with us and big games in the Premier League. Because I think having someone like him with that mentality is just what you need. You need that if you're going to go far. And like I said, with the players we've lost, it's good that we've got someone like him in, who's obviously keen to be here and keen to impress on not only the fans but the dressing room and the manager as well. So Napoli, how have they started in the league this season? Well, they've started pretty well, haven't they? At the top of the league. But I'm sorry, and people might, say I'm jinxing this or whatever it is. But I think this game's on us. No amount of ex-United players or a 34-year-old Kevin De Bruyne is going to worry me. I mean, United players, it's Højlund and McTominay. I don't care how good McTominay's played in this area. I don't care how good he plays for Scotland. Yeah, he's a decent enough player, but really, are we that worried? Really? Højlund, yeah, he scored against Fiorentina, but I mean, come on. I think this is all on us. I mean, KDB, I may be in the minority. I'm not sure, but I thought it was time for him to go. I thought last season for us, less, I think, the Palace game where he scored a few good goals, which I think overshadowed the rest of his performance, to be honest with you. But I think he looked past it for us last season. I think he looked past it. I think going to Italy is perfect for him. Maybe Napoli is a perfect team for him. But less him knocking the ball in for 30 yards or putting a great free kick into someone's head. I don't see that we should be all that concerned if we're on the ball. I mean, if we play like we did against United, the defence is settled, reasonably settled. If the keeper plays well, the midfield keeps the ball, doesn't do anything silly, then we should be okay. I don't really see what the concern is. I mean, I know if you look at our fixtures, I think we can do that now. I'll just share with our fixtures here. I'm happy for a 0-0 here, and I know we drew 0-0 with Inter Milan last year, and it didn't end well. But it's 15 points to get into the top 8 it was last season. I think Villa won 5 and lost 3. That's how they got there. So we've got Napoli at home. Let's say that's a draw. Then we've got Monaco away, Villarreal away, Dortmund at home, Leverkusen at home, Real Madrid away, Bodo Glimt away, Galatasaray at home. Now, I don't know about you, but I think they're friendly. I think they're friendly fixtures. I really do. I think they're friendly fixtures for us. So I'm not concerned at all if this game's a draw. My priority is to have Napoli 0. And then that's 2 clean sheets going into the Arsenal game. So how are we going to get Napoli 0? How do we get there? Well, I think some slight change to the team sheet. I think that's unavoidable, whether that's fitness or simply players who need games. So I think with Donnarumma will start in goal. I think that's without question. Right back to the interesting one. I'm not sure what Kusanov's level of fitness is like. Has he ever played 3 games in a week for us? I'm not sure, but he's a young boy. He can always come off against Napoli, as far as I'm concerned. But I'd start with him at right back. Defence, I'd go with Guardiola and Diaz again. And if Stones is on the bench, give him 20 minutes at the end, maybe, regardless of how things are going. Left back, well, this is a tricky one because I think Ake needs to play against Arsenal. I think he needs to play against Arsenal. So what do? Do we give him an hour, then bring O'Reilly on, or give O'Reilly an hour, bring Ake on? I'm not sure. Answers on a postcard, or for those that are a bit younger, put it in the comments below. Yeah, so I'd probably start O'Reilly, give Ake half an hour, and then go from there. Nunez and Rico, they can wait for the Huddersfield matches, as far as I'm concerned at this stage. I think this is about just getting solid. I wouldn't have Rodders anywhere near the starting 11. Obviously, I'm not a physio, but I'd say no. You can have 20 minutes against Napoli towards the end, regardless of how things are going, where he needs to be fit and ready for Arsenal. I think playing him, starting 3 games in the trot would be madness. But what do I know? Maybe I'm wrong, but it does feel like it would be madness. I don't think any result against Napoli and Arsenal is worth risking Rodri's long-term, i.e. season-long health. I don't think it's worth it. I think anything that happens in the Napoli game can be made up. And in the Arsenal game, I don't think we're going to win the league anyway. So let's make sure Rodri can be fit for the season rather than rushing him through these 2 games and seeing how it's going. I'd have in midfield, I'd have Nico Gonzalez, Bernardo Silva, and Reinders. I'd do that and get busy around Kevin De Bruyne, get busy around who they've got in midfield as well. Reinders, Serie A last season, should be used to playing against these sorts of opposition. So I'm looking for a good performance from him and a goal as well. Not scored his Wolves, had chances but hasn't done it yet. So I think he needs a goal today, again for confidence against Arsenal. And then I'd have Haaland, Foden and Doku up front. I know people talk about Savio needing games. Well, sorry, Savio. I mean, that's what happens when you start fanning around wanting moves to Tottenham. It has knock-on effects for your season, particularly in the early part. So I'm sorry, you're just going to have to wait, because I think Doku, Foden, and Haaland were very, very good on Sunday, but it was United. We don't know where that really sits in terms of is that side of things to come, or is that just like beating a lower team in the division in it, regardless of it being a derby or not. So I think they need another run to see how they can link up. I know people will be talking about Doku's fitness. Well, sorry, Jezza, the job is to play 3 games a week. If you can't do that, then you're no good to us, I'm afraid, in the medium to long term. But no, I'll start Doku, give him an hour, give Foden an hour, and give Haaland an hour, and then swap it around after that, because I think those 3, with a quick turnaround for the Arsenal game, I think those 3 should be fit and firing. For them, that also gives them Savio half an hour to show us what he can do. So yeah, I think I'm optimistic with the team, and I think what happens today will give us a good indication, or a better indication, of what is going to happen against Arsenal than the United game. Because let's have it right, United aren't very good. And while we're talking about United, did you see those comments that were made or attributed to Jim Radcliffe the other day, that if Amorim can't get United into the top 4, then he's going to get the sack? Well, you might as well get it over with now, then, hadn't you? Because I am telling you now, there's no chances. I mean, he's not a good enough manager, and they haven't got good enough players. So that's not a great combination for getting to the top 4, is it? Oh, I mean, we could talk about United all day, but we're not going to do that today. There'll be plenty of other opportunities to have a laugh at them. So what we're looking to see finally for the Napoli game is us build on the United game. I don't think there's a lot more else to say. There's eight games in the Champions League. Do not lose this match. The remainder of the fixtures are pretty friendly. We finished with Galatasaray at home, so I'm not too concerned. And even if we finish in the playoffs, I expect us to be in the top half of the playoff draw, not down amongst the dead men like we were last season. So I'm not too concerned about drawing this game. But they talk about Conte's European record being really poor, and I'm not sure how you can what you'd attribute that to, because he's obviously a good manager, isn't he? But I think Roberto Mancini's European record was pretty poor. It wasn't great with us, but I put that down to some of the draws we got in terms of Dortmund, Ajax, and Real Madrid in the same group. We also got 10 points and went out one year. So I'm not saying, on the face of it, he's a poor European manager, but his record in terms of getting to knockout stage isn't great. So I think he'll have something to prove, won't he? And I think because Guardiola is the sort of thing that Conte relishes. So it should be a good game. I'm expecting a pretty tight affair, but I think we'll probably nick it 2-0. I think that's what I'm going to go for, 2-0. I'm going to back Reinders to score and Savio off the bench. There we go. So Reinders and Savio, City 2, Napoli 0. Kevin De Bruyne to get a great reception, of course, but him to do very little, hopefully, and this doesn't come and bite me on the arse this time tomorrow. Thanks for joining. A little bit longer than I thought it would be, but not as long as the usual videos. I'll be back Friday with a review of this game. If there's not a lot to talk about in this game, I'll do a review of this and a preview of Arsenal in one. If not, I'll do 2 separate videos. And I might have someone on before the Arsenal game to talk about that or after. I'll have to see how that goes in diaries, etc. Well, thank you for joining me. Thanks for getting this far. I hope you enjoy Thursday, and I'll see you Friday. Yeah, so don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you very much, and take care.